Hi there, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to configure your router interface, and of course, end system, which can also be called host because it runs web application. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. The first question we need to ask ourselves before we go into the practical aspect of this using packet tracer: what is an IP address? Because this is actually essential when configuring our router and of course configuring the node or end system. An IP address is a unique identifier for every host in the same network. Put that in mind, in the same network. And what is the purpose of IP address? Is to uniquely identify a particular end system on the network. The network could be LAN or WAN. How do I mean? LAN means the local area network, and WAN means the wide area network. IP address, which also known as Internet Protocol Address. IP is an internet protocol that governs data transmission from one end system to another on the internet. Okay, and there are 5 classes of IP address. We have class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. There are 2 versions of IP addressing. We have version v4 or Internet Protocol version 4. This is 34 bits long and uses decimal to represent a segment of its part, which ranges from 0 to 255 and separated by dots. We're going to see an example of that. IP version 6. This is 128 bits long and uses hexadecimals to represent each segment of its parts. And this also is separated using column. Okay. But in this tutorial, we are going to be focusing on IP version 4. Tabulating the IP address classes. This table shows us the ranges of class of addresses we have in networking and the descriptions to individual classes. So we have the class A. We have small networks but large number of end systems. Class B, even number of network. Okay. Even number of network and end systems. Class C, many networks but small number of end systems. Class D, this is reserved for multicasting. And class E, this is reserved for research and experimentation. Under the range, if you look at the range, it ranges from 1 to 256. I'm going to be making these slides available for you so you can have access to it. I'll share the link where you can get the slide. Okay, so IP address has 2 parts. The parts are network number portion and the host number portion. For example, in class A IP addressing, we have 124.0.0.25. The first segment, or the first out of the four parts we have here, is for the network, while the last three parts are for the host number. There are two types of IP addresses. We have private and public. Private addresses, they are used within local area network and are unique. So this ranges in class A, we have it range from 10 to 10.255, 255, and 255, which fall between the class A and of class B and of class C. Public IP addresses, they are used outside of a NAN, meaning they are used within one wide area network, and these are assigned by an internet service provider, ISP. Of course, with a charge, okay? But this private IP address is free. You can assign it and you can make it automatic. Why this IP address? You pay directly or indirectly in as much you use router. Okay, all right, let's proceed. From classes, class A, we have the range from 1 to 206. If you go back to the first slide, can you see? So the private is sub value within this range, which is excluded in what? In the public IP addresses. Can you see? I say excluding, meaning it's in between, sliced within the value range given us from this table. And class B also has its own private IP address portion. Class C equally has its own uh, private IP portion. And of course, public ranges from here and jumped from here to this one. Okay. Now note, in class A, we have 0.0.0.0 to 0.255, 255 being reserved for look back. Can you see? It's excluded in this table. It's not mentioned. That's 0.0. You know, I said that earlier on. It's not mentioned there. So, and we have this. So also 127.00 down to this value is reserved for broadcast. And of course, this also is reserved for broadcast. Idea of subnet mask. Subnet mask is a 32-bit number that masks an IP address and divides the address into network portion and host portion. I've explained that initially. In subnet mask, whole network number portion is set to 255 if the IP address is written in binary digits, that is bits. Set all the network portions to ones, while host number portion is set to zeros. Benefits: it helps solve the network address shortage in IPv4 and also reduces network traffic by reducing the volume of network broadcast. Surpasses the constraint in a LAN, local area network, when a number of hosts is permitted within the LAN. Classless inter-domain routing, CIDR. The purpose is that to keep the internet from running out of IP addresses and also help to mitigate the wastefulness when allocating IP addresses in classful address scheme. The minimum number of IP addresses allows to an organization is classful addressing scheme, and which is thus 256 for class A and 65,536 class B and 60,700,000 for class C. Network address can be represented as this. Slash 8, which denotes class A. Slash 16, which denotes class B. And slash 24, which denotes class C. Okay, let's get started into the practical. So we're going to be creating these networks. There are three segments, segment A, B, and C. This is a network, this is another network, this is another network, all connected with a router. So we're going to be doing this. So we are going to be implementing this, configure our router and testing, pinging to test the connectivity of our connection. These are the type of router interfaces. We have the Ethernet interfaces, we have serial interfaces, loopback interfaces, we have sub interfaces, and we have tunnel interfaces. These interfaces serve as gateway for data forwarding. Why do we configure IP address on a router interface? 1. Routing. 2. Network segmentation, which help in security issues. It helps to reduce the vulnerability of our networks. Gateway functionality, routing protocol, and remote management. These are the steps taken that we're going to be taking in configuring our router. So I'll make the slide available. Let's get started by going into Packet Tracer. Packet Tracer is a software that helps us implement network, configure network. You know, it gives us the logical plan for the actual implementation. Okay, and to get this Cisco Academy, you'll be able to get this. You'll be able to get this software installed on your system. Okay. Now, all right. Now, let's implement the three segments we have. This is Packet Tracer. We have quick bar, we have title bar, we have quick bar, we have property, and here we have the logic physical. This is the logic, is in the logic mode. If I click on the physical, you can see we have the physical, the logic, we have the workspace blank, and of course you can play with this. We have the stimulation. Of course, shows you how packet is being passed, but we don't have anything yet. So let's close this. We have play and forward and all. Okay, now here we have the categories of network devices, and we have subcategory. So if a category is clicked, it has a subcategories. So if I select the subcategory populates this site with its own types. Okay, so we have those categories, subcategory, and types of the subcategory. Okay, so pay attention, we're going to be making use of this a lot. So first thing first, if we go back to our slide, in our slide we have the router, the switch. We have three switches, one router, and three end systems. Okay, good. We can increase this end system to be 2, to be 3, which we're going to do. Okay, all right, let's go back to the Packet Tracer. Okay, first and foremost, let's draw the three rectangle. From this property, let me close this. From this property, we have the first icon we have is select. Okay, meaning that whenever you select any object from here, a device from here, and you want to pick another one, you first of all click on select. All right, so this select is very essential because as we will be working here, this cursor, the pointer will change most of the time to another type. Okay, it might be a cursor or times or plus. So we want to change this to what? It should be always be pointer. So that is why you click on select icon. This is zoom, to zoom your work. This is to delete. You can delete an item placed there wrongly or you don't want it. Here we have resize. You can resize an object. Okay, you're going to see that. Here you can add notes like we have in this. You can add notes. These are notes. Okay, these are notes. Okay, okay, yes. So we have draw line. You can equally draw line. You can draw line. You can draw line of color. You can change the color. You can change the fill and all. You can draw line. Okay, can you see it now? You can draw line. But let me delete that. Delete. Good. Okay. Now we can draw rectangle. We can draw ellipse. And of course, we have other shape here, which is draw free form. Okay, you can draw free form. So these are very essential. So we need rectangle. Let's select that. I click on rectangle. It gives me this pop up. Can you see? Inside this pop up, we have different shapes. This is free and sketch. We have ellipse. We have rectangle and line. So we are using rectangle in order to draw this shape we have here. So let's go back. Now the shape has outline and of course fill color. So in the slide we have this rectangular shape which has the outline, but the infield is what? White, meaning we did not supply. It was set to be what? No fill. But however, if you want it to have color within, you have to check fill color. Okay, let's do that. So I'm selecting choose color. So let me change the color from black to, can change from black. You can click on that, say change color. Let's change that to blue. And of course the infill too, let's change this to blue. Let's change this one to blue. Okay, then having set that, we change the color to blue by selecting color outline. We change this to blue by selecting fill color and also check fill color. So let's close it and drag our end across this. We've selected color already, so let's draw. Can you see? We've drawn a rectangle. So let's assume that this size is not desirable. You want to increase it, you want to resize it. What you need to do is to go up here. You know, I've told you about resize tool. Just click on resize tool. Can you see? It gives you nodes that you can adjust. Can you see? It's like we have two of them here. Let me delete one rectangle. I think I good. So it gives us node. Okay, this is a single one. Now the former one I deleted, I clicked twice. Okay, that's why it replicated itself. So this is a rectangle. Now let's assume we want to increase the size. You just come to this node, this red node at the bottom right corner. You clicked on it, then drag across the workspace. Okay, can you see it? Depending how wherever you want it to be. So let's leave it this way. Okay, let me put it somewhere, right? Good. Having done with that, it's still showing red. Okay, what you need to do is click on select to deselect this reshape or resize. Okay, good. So the next, let's do the next line. Also, we're going to change the colors to green and the infill also to green. Let's select that. Green, green. Okay, good. Let me close the window. Then let's drag, let's draw. You left click, then drag across the white space. Drag it until when you reach your desire. Okay, good. The third one, let's click on the rectangle again and select the color. Now let's take red for the outline. For the outline, it's going to be red. For the fill color, is equally going to be red. So let's take the primary color here. So drag your hand across. Okay. While holding the left click, you drag your hand up across the shape. Now we need one router, 3 switches, and end system could be 2, 3 and all. So let's do that now. A router, I click on this. Can you see the first option here is saying network devices? So I click on this, then it gives me subtype of these network devices. The first one is the router. So we click on the router gives us types. Okay, so let's use type 2911. So how do I pick this and place it here? Click on it once. Having clicked on it, you see this red circle with cross line. It means you've selected that particular type of router. Then bring your cursor, not dragging, just put your cursor wherever you want it to be. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here, wherever. Just put the cursor wherever you want it to be, this pointer, wherever, and click. Just single click. Okay, so we've placed it here. Good. Now we need switch or 3 switches. So under these network devices, the first one router, the second one is switches. The one that follow is hub, and we have this one wireless devices. I'm going to be doing tutorial on how to configure your IoT, how you can use your device to control your home appliances, okay, as time goes on. But however, now we are configuring this. Okay, now we need switches. Let's do the same. Click on the switches, it gives us types. So let's use the first one, which is 2960. They have type as well. I've clicked on that. The mini have selected that. So let's go into the blue portion and click. So it drops that. So let's select again and click. It drops it. Select again and click. We have it now. So we have three switches. So let's place the end system as well. The end system as well. The end system as well. So to delete again, let me show you. You click on this, you delete. Can you see? Good. Okay, let's place it again. I show you how to delete. If you want to delete this, you can click on it or click on this icon first. Then having clicked on this icon, come to the device you want to delete and click on it. It will ask you, do you want to delete? Then you say yes, you want to delete. That's delete means yes. Okay, now let's select this again. Let's replace it again. Switch the type. We are selecting 2911. I clicked on this, the first one. Click again. I put this one too. Then click again and position this as well. So good. So let's equally hard end system. Can you see these network devices? Now end system, which can also be called host. Click on this category, it gives us subcategories. We have end devices, we have home for IoT, we have smart city and all, but we are using the end system now. So click on subtype, which is end system, then it gives us this. So we're going to be using PC. Let's drag the PC. Let's drag PC. Okay, you can drag or you select. Let's use laptop as well. Let's equally add laptop. Let's see that. Okay. Okay, for the other one, let's use this. Let's use three of this. Good. Let's arrange it very well. Good. And for this one, let's add one piece, one PC and two laptop, or any amount. Okay, you can put any amount you feel like put in there. Okay, let's assume we have this. Okay, good. Now what next? We need to connect all these devices together. So let me tell you again, this this they are known as end system or host. Okay, why switches we have and router, they are network devices or network core devices. Okay, good. Now let's connect that together. Now under this category we have this symbol. This symbol, it shows connection. So connections has different types. We have connection and we have structured cablings. Okay, so we are selecting connections, and connection has type. We have connectionless and connection. Okay, connectionless meaning wireless that uses radio signal. That's wireless, so it is called connectionless. So and we have wired, so where we use uh, cable. We have cable, we have fiber um, cable, we have we have this type of cable. We have the copper straight through, we have crossover, we have fiber, we have quartz and all. Okay, now to make this tutorial fast, the first type of connection we have here gives us options to automatically select cable, even if you don't know the cable initially to be used, whether crossover, straight through or fiber. Automatic option will help you automatically choose connection type. Okay, so let's take that. I clicked on that. Let me click on this. I click on the switch, then I didn't drag my hand, I only move the pointer towards the router, then click on router. So you can see that. So again, click on this, select it, click on this switch and click on the router. Somebody is asking, must I click on switch before I click on router? No, you can click on router before you click on switch. Let's look at that. I'll select the auto again, router, then switch. Can you see it? So either way it goes. Okay, good. Let's equally connect the devices. I'm going to be fast at doing that the same way you did for that. Good. We have connected all the devices. Now we have connected them. So let's test if, but however, if you look at this, it changes from indigo to green and this one is still showing red. It shows that there's no connection between this yet. Okay, we only connect the wire, but we've not configured it. But however, this one shows green, say it has been connected to the switch. Okay, however, they don't have IP address yet. Okay, so we're going to be doing all of those. Please pay attention. Okay, good. Now let me just group everything. Let's group everything. Let me put, let me, okay, let me group all this network in a, put them inside a particular, um let me change the colors to color, let's say color pink. Let's take pink. So I'm grouping all of this as an organization in the same building. Okay, good. Good, not required, but you can equally have that. Okay, so now good. Now let's start implementing this. First and foremost, let's configure our router to establish connection between router and the switches. Okay, now don't forget the slide we have initially. Let's go back to the slide. Let's go back to the slide. So in the slide we have the steps. The first is say configuring an IP address on a router interface. Okay, before we go then, pardon me, let's equally label all of this. We will be referring to them as we are working. So let's look at in our slide. We have a screenshot. You can see the way we label it. So we're going to label it. So let me give you an insight. Now this one now tells us the class of address we are using. So don't forget the class we have mentioned initially. This is class A. So you can go and read it. We have stated all of this. Can you see? So go away. The link will be shared for this slide. So this is class A, this is class B, and this is class C. How do I know? /8 /16 /24. If you go back to this place, can you see network address can be represented as this, which depicts class 8, class this and that. So whenever you see such, you should know that this belongs to this belongs to that. Okay, now that's that. So this particular one we have here is called gateway IP address. Gateway IP address. Okay, are we together? All right, you're going to see that. So we have this, we have this, we have this. So let's equally do the same. Let's replicate the same. Let's label it. So follow me. So I'm going to be changing router 1 to R1. Just call it R1, or you call it router. I call it R1. Good. So I changed this R1. It's important. All right, now to add the sub, okay, let's add that. We say place note, place note. So we are placing note here. Say 15. Let's give some class C 15.0.0. Slash 8. So that's class. So this one, let's give this one class B. Class B. Let's look at what we have here. Class B. Class B, don't forget class B is within this range. Let's look at this. Class B under the class B. So we can give it a range. Let's just give it a range. It's within 128 down to this. Okay, all right, 128 point, let's say 70. Can we put 72? Okay, down to, yeah, we can put 72. Good. Class B, 72. Excuse me. One, 120, 172, 172.0.0/16, class B. So class C, let's look at that. Can set from 192, okay, 151, 192, 151, 192, 151.45 slash 0.0/24. Good. So this class C. Now we have known the class of individual group we have here. This is class A, class B, class C. Now let's give it a gateway IP address. Place notes. For this, we have 15.25.5.254. That's for that. Then we have, for this one, we have 192, and this is gateway IP address for this network as well. So good. We have not configured anything, we're only putting the label. So let's put label for the device as well. I'm going to be very fast at assigning IP address to that.
You might put this one depending how you want to. So you're assigning that yourself. For this one, we have 172 point. It must be within that class. 0 point. Let me put 15 if I will. 7.72.0.9. Can give you a random value. So whatever. If you look at the pattern, they have the same network name. Okay? So 0 point. Let me say 13. Good. So let me position them well. So this is for this. This is for this device. This is for this device. And this is for this device. This is for this device. This is for this device. And this is for this device.
Good. So having labeled them, now we can now configure the router. So let's click on the router. This is the step you need to follow in configuring. You see access router CLI, that is command line interface, change user exec mode to privilege mode. So this might be complex. Now let me go straight and show you what that means. So double click on the router. Can you see? Double click on it. Then it gives us this pop up. Okay, under this pop-up we have R1 as the name implies here, so the label name of course router. Then we have 4 tabs: physical, config, CLI, and attributes. If you look at the physical, it shows us the interfaces of the router, okay, as a physical item, okay. As you can see, this is the logical, but in the real sense, in the real world sense, this is how it looks like. This is a Cisco router. Let me zoom out. Can you see? It has a switch. It has switch. Let me show you. Virtual size, zoom in. So we have switch. You can off it. Can you see off? You can on it, green. This is wire plugged, so it's like, can you see? So we have here, can you see, we have the interfaces. Let's continue from where we stopped. So we want to configure the router now. So double click on the router. Can you see my cursor? Double click. Then we have the pop-up. The pop-up, we have this dialog box. We are inside the dialog box. We have physical. These are the tabs. Of course, we have the tab. We have the CLI and all. So we want to configure the router using CLI. So now you can see the cursor blinking here. Just press enter. Good. So the first thing we want to do, we want to change this name from router to R1. Okay, we want to change this to R1. So how can we achieve that? So it's not important, but I'll show you how to change the name of the router. In case you have more than one router, you can give it a specific name. Okay, you can make it a router 1, router 2, or R1, R2, or let's say a router is in tech department. You can say router in tech department and all for easy access. Okay, so now to change the router name, let's go to config mode. Okay, there are 3 basic mode that you can be, actually more than 3, but the most used mode now, or you're going to be learning alongside more of the mode that we can be in. So at this first stage where you have router greater than sign, this is called user exec mode. Okay, this is called user exec mode. So for us to change the name of this router, we need to be in the config mode. So moving from user exec mode, we move to privileged exec mode. Then from user exec mode, we enter the privileged mode. Then after the privilege mode, we enter, let me increase this. Okay, all right, let me just put a zoom. Okay, good. I believe you can see it now. Okay, so from privilege mode, we move to global configuration mode. Okay, so these are the basic mode that you can be in. Where we are now with this greater sign, it shows we are in what? User mode. Each of this mode has its own specific operations. Okay, the operation that you can perform here, you cannot perform it in the privilege mode, and that which you can perform in the privilege mode, you cannot perform it in the global mode. Okay, so Now let's see how we can move from user mode to privileged mode, from privileged mode to the global config mode. To first of all change the name of the router from router to R1. So not really necessary for our configuration, but no knowledge is a waste. Okay, now to move from user exec mode to the privileged exec mode, you use enable. That's a command. Let's assume you don't know the command. What you can do, you can just do question mark, that shift question mark. It will tell you the commands that can be used within this mode, this user exec mode. It will tell you the commands that are available or the operation that can be performed within this user exec mode by pressing shift question mark. Okay, now as you can see, we have all of these, and our aim of checking this is, okay, what if I don't know the command? How maybe you have been asking, how do I know that it's enabled that will make me to go from user mode to the privilege mode? From there, from this place, you can see the commands at the left hand side, and at the right hand side we have descriptions of individual commands. Okay, so if you look at the first command there, we have 1 to 199, which says section numbers to resume. Connect, this one open a terminal connection. So but this is not what we want to do. Our objective is to move from user mode to privilege mode. So if you look through this command and their description, you will see enable description says what? Turn on privileged command. So what are we going to do? We are moving into this. So this is the command we need to use. Okay, and exit also help us exit from one mode to the other. So it helps us move from, let's say, privilege mode back to the user exec mode. Okay, so let's do that. Enable. Okay, all right, so press enter. Can you see? Can you see the difference now? So from user exec mode, we use enable command to move to privilege mode as we have it in the description. Yes. Okay, now to go back to user exec mode, to go back to this mode again, you will use what? Exit. So let's try that. Exit. Good. Can you see it now? We have moved back to the formal mode. I just press enter here, okay? Or return on macOS. So you can see now. So how do we go from user exec mode to privilege mode? Can anyone try it? Enable, correct. So enable, now you've learned a command. Enable help you to move from user mode to privilege mode. Now from privilege, we need to move to global configuration mode. But before then, we can equally try the same trick we tried initially by clicking shift or pressing shift and question. It gives us the commands that are legal in this mode, in this privilege mode. Okay, so if you look at it also, we have more. Okay, let's open more. We have more of that. Let's open. Good. So these are the commands that can be performed within this privilege mode. You can see characteristic of privilege mode is hash, while the user exec is what? Greater than sign. Okay, now let's look at that. Let's look at command that can help us to move from privilege to global configuration mode. So let's read the description. This one says section number. This one says section number, reset function. That is not what we want to do. We want to go to configuration mode. Yes, can you see? This one say enter configuration mode. So do we need to go further again? Okay, let's read through other commands. So command to use is what? Configure. Now connect open terminal connection. Copy. It copies. Okay, we're going to be using some of these commands. Okay, copy from one file to the other. In case you want to copy the content of a file to other file. So this is how you can learn the commands that are available in each of the modes by clicking shift question mark. It gives you this. You don't need to cram them. So we have enable, that is turn on privilege commands, okay, like we have seen initially. So we have exit. You can do this. We can erase a file system and all. I know you will not try that. Okay, create directory. Of course, that will help us to create a directory or a folder. Okay, and of course we can remove existing directory. Okay, so we have show run system information. This one too, we're going to be using most of this command like I said earlier on. So let's use configuration to move to the config mode. So configuration. Then if I press enter, unlike the enable move us immediately towards to the privilege, but this one is still asking us question that configuring from terminal, memory or network terminal. So it's asking question, which one are we moving to? We are moving to what? Config terminal. So instead of us breaking it into pieces like this, let me press enter. Can you see now? It has changed from privilege mode to what? Global config mode by appending what? This suffix to the what? Router. It inject it in between router and the what? This hash value. Let me exit. Okay, so we are in the privilege mode back. Can you see the difference between them? It shows us config in bracket, meaning global configuration. Now we have gone back to the privilege. So instead of putting commands like config, so we can add, there are some commands. Let me add this. There are some commands that require you to supply arguments alongside with it. Okay, so let's say configure, and you put space, then put question mark. It will tell you what is expected to be supplied. Can you see? Configure question mark. It says what? Terminal. That is configure from the terminal. So we want to configure from the terminal. So it expects us to supply these argument. This is the argument. This is the command. Okay. So pressing enter, it moves us straight up without imputing terminal again, without asking us this question. It goes straight to what? Router configuration. Do you get it? Or I should come back. Okay, so let's go back from the start again. Okay, let's see exit. So when you type exit, it exits you a step backward from global config to privilege. So to move to user exit mode, you use exit and you type it again twice. Can you see? So we have moved back to what? To the user exit mode. Don't forget, we are using what? Router interface. By double clicking on this router here, we got this interface. Okay, let me close it and double click again. Can you see? We got this. Okay, initially it might be selecting this, but we'll go to CLI. Okay, now let's move again. What do we use? Enable. Correct. To move to privilege mode. Good. So from privilege mode to the global configuration mode, we use configure terminal. Okay, so meanwhile, if you don't want to be writing all this in full, we have the short form of this configure terminal. You can just say config then T. So config stands for configuration and the T here stands for the terminal. So let's do the same. Can you see it now? So we move from the user exec mode by using enable to the privilege mode. Then from the privilege mode, we use config terminal to move to what? Global configuration mode. Okay, now let's equally put question mark. Let's enlarge this. Okay, so let's put question mark, see the available command in the global configuration mode as well by pressing shift question mark. Okay, let's open all of these available commands. Okay, there are many of them. Let's open all. We'll scroll up when by the time we are done. Good. So you can see all the commands here that are legal in global exec mode. That is, you can use them within this mode. Okay, and this are the descriptions of all these commands we have here. So for the AAA, we have the description, authentication, authorization, and accounting. And we have access list, which is the command here. Then the description say what? Add an access list entry. Okay. We have banner. Define a login banner. Okay, so we're going to be using most of these commands as time goes on. But however, our intention is to change the router name. We want to change the router name. So to change the router name, can you see what is the description here? It says set system network name. So meaning this is the command that can be used to change what? The name of network device. Okay, now we have interface. Interface helps us to select an interface to configure. So we're going to be using that, but for now, let's change the name of this router to R1. So host. So this showing us all this is to just put to your mind, put to you that you don't need to cram all of this. If in case you don't know the command or escape your mind, you can just put question mark. It will give you the possible commands or the command that can be used. So host name. Then don't forget, in the configuration we add what? An argument. So also in the host, you can check, because most of them, like host now, if you just type host and press enter, it will ask you, it will say incomplete what? Command, meaning it expects you to supply an argument or one or more arguments. Okay, so to check which type of argument to add, just after the command space, then press shift question mark. It will tell you the expected argument. Okay, it expects word from us, so it is expecting you to supply the name of the host, the new name you want to add, you want to change that previous name to. So it said this system network name, so let's say R1, capital R1, press enter. Can you see now? It has changed the name from router to what? R1. So that is how to change the what? The network device name or end system name. Okay, it's inside or within the global configuration mode that you can have it changed using host command and supplying the argument, the name you want to change it to. Okay, all right, you can equally change it. Okay, let's say, let me just play with this. You can change it again. Let's say spa hey R1, enter. Can you see it now? So you can change it, the name, whatsoever name you want it to be. So let's leave it as spa underscore R1. Okay, now we want to configure our router interfaces, and if you can see, let me scroll them in this. Okay, if you look at the physical here, we have what? We have interfaces here that you can plug. We have all these ports, you have all these ports. So let's see, in case you don't know the name, you want to see the name, you can see it. Let's go to CLI Under the privilege mode, let me enlarge this again. Let's exit from here, because if you look at it, do we have any command that says we can show or display all the interfaces? No, nothing like show command there. Okay, nothing like show command. We got show command in privilege mode. Okay, now let's go back to privilege mode. Now we are in the privilege mode. Let's put question mark and see the command show. So good. So this environment now, you can show configure, running configuration, and of course we can equally show the interface of the device we want to use. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have show interface. Let's show the interface. We have show and question mark. Let's assume we don't know what argument to supply. Show question mark, then you can use the interfaces. So interface status and configuration. It also, we can equally shows the IP address information. We can show that. We can show a lot. Let's see. We can show all of this by just saying show and supply this para argument. Okay, so let's show the interfaces. Okay, so show interfaces. So how do I see that this it is here? After you press show, you put question mark, shows you how what uh, argument that you can supply to that interfaces. So let's put interfaces, and if you are not sure, you can still put question mark to see what else, what can you put next after the interfaces. What else can you see? Can you see? It shows us that you can equally ask or see. Okay, okay, you can equally see all of this. Okay, these are the interfaces that are available. You can decide to put, okay, show interface Ethernet, so it will only show Ethernet interface. But however, if you don't supply Ethernet as argument, okay, as argument, it's going to show you everything. Can you see it now? Okay, let me go back to see that. So this we have now is as a result of the command we press. Okay, let me exit. Okay, as a show, can you see? Focus on this show interfaces. Show interfaces, press enter. Can you see? Show interfaces will show us all the interfaces we have that are associated with the router. Okay, this is the router, these are the interfaces, so it will tell us the name. So we have 1, 2, 3, that's gigabit Ethernet. So there are 3 gigabit Ethernet here. Should indicate with yellow. You see in the physical router, it's yellow, indicate by using the yellow. Okay, while other one they are fast Ethernet. Okay, they have different types. So we have USB. So now let's look at the interface. You can see we have the Ethernet. We have gigabit Ethernet 0/0. There are 3 types. There are 3, 1, 2, 3 of them here. So it's label 0/0. Okay, the second one, by the time you press enter, let me press enter. Okay, before then let's look at it. We have Ethernet. This is administratively down, line protocol is down. So these are what we are going to work on. We're going to turn it on. Okay, and equally assign IP address to it. Okay, that gateway. Now let's press enter and see all the ones. Can you see the packet? We have no packet. No packet is passing through it yet. So let's press enter. Don't forget, this is the first gigabit Ethernet 0/0. By the time you press enter, we have the second one here and the associated properties. You can see these are the associated properties to this Ethernet 0/0. Then press enter. Ethernet 0/1 also is what? Administratively down, line protocol is down also. So the status is what? Disabled. Okay, so let's go down. We are going to turn out all of those. Those are the things that we want to configure. Then the third one is gigabit ethernet 0/2 is administrative. Okay, the same thing and equally have the same properties like other one have. Okay, so we have the VLAN. VLAN means virtual LAN. Okay, virtual LAN. So this is local area network. One is what is administratively done as well. So can you see that virtual LAN? It equally has property associated with it. Okay, so you can see all the 4 interfaces that are being displayed us. Okay, now we can equally show IP. Let's show IP. Show IP, and you can put question mark if you are not sure. Show is the command, IP its argument, question mark to see what can equally follow if you are not sure of where you're going. Now this is interface. We can show the interface also from here in case you are asked to show the interface, the interfaces and what the status of that interface. Okay, now let's show interface. Press enter. So we use show interfaces to show all of this information we have here, right? Now for this one, let's see what this will give to us. This is 2 arguments following show command. Okay, show space IP space interface. So press enter. Now we have, can you see, show IP interfaces. So these are the interfaces available which we have seen initially, but a lot of information here to decipher actually. Now if you look at here, it helps condensed those information into should I say short summary now. Okay, now it summarize all that we have initially. So we have gigabit ethernet 0/0. We have this 2 and 3, so it counts 1, 2 and 3. Okay, then the last interface we have. Okay, so let's see it again. Can you see it here? Can you see it? Okay, now go back. Now let's see another thing that we can add in case you don't want all the information is still look voluminous. We can equally see, let's see if we can add anything. Show IP interface. Let's put question mark if we can add any other thing to that. Okay, yes, if you look at it, it means that we can equally add brief as an argument after in the interface. What does that do? Read the description. It say brief summary of IP status and configuration. So let's type that, brief. Okay, so we have command. Don't forget we are in the what? Privilege mode. In the privilege mode, that's where you can show all the configuration information and all. So now we have show IP address, IP, that is internet protocol, show IP interface and brief. Press enter. Can you see it now? It briefs us on what we have. Can you see its interface? It gives us the list of interface. IP address, it shows unassigned. Can you see? We've not assigned IP address yet. Then okay, everything is okay. Yes, method on set. Okay, status, it shows what? Administratively what? Done. Okay, so we're going to be doing that, and of course protocol is done as well. We're going to be turning them on. Good. So we're going to be doing it one after the other. To configure the first interface, that is gigabit ethernet, we need to select this first. But for us to configure it, we need to be in what? Global configuration mode. So let's move from the privilege to global mode. How to do that is config config what? T, that is configuration terminal, configure terminal. Okay, press enter. Can you see we are in the config mode now? We are in the config mode. Okay, good. Now let's see how we can select the interface. These are the interfaces, right? So let's take it one after the other. The first interface will be for, let's see it will be for this first segment of the network, and we're going to be assigning this IP to it. So these are the 1, 2, 3. It shows that this wire is connected to what? The gigabit Ethernet, the gigabit Ethernet, the gigabit Ethernet. So now let's see. Good. So I'm going to put this side by side so that we can see what is going on as we are configuring it. Okay, good. All right, let's say, and meanwhile, take note, this shows red, right? By the time it shows it's done, by the time we turn on it, it's going to change these colors to green, that is connected. So now, how do we select the first Ethernet to assign this particular IP address of the network, the gateway to this network? So let's check question mark. Let me enlarge it. I'm going to put it back. So can you see inside the configuration mode, we have this command that say after the host name we have what? Interface, and that's what we want to select. So we want to select an interface. So it says select an interface to configure. So can you see it now? So the command we're going to use there to select the interface to configure this, the interface to configure is interface. Okay, then followed by the name of that interface, and we have seen that we have gigabit Ethernet and all. So let me show you that now. Interface space question mark. You can put question mark to see what is expected to put as argument. So we have dialer and all. So but however, we have different types. As we have it here, can you see we have Ethernet and gigabit Ethernet. Okay, they varies in the number of the packet or the data or information that can be passed through them. Okay, now fast Ethernet, we have gigabit Ethernet. Okay, so now this is what we want to select. We want to select all the 3 gigabit Ethernet of this router and configure it with this URL. I'm repeating myself because I want everyone to get along with me and get what I am doing. Okay, so my purpose of doing this tutorial is to make you understand, not to show myself, not to show that I can do this and all. I want you to be able to do it. That's why I'm taking my time. And for those who are already conversant with this, you can just fast it. But for you that you are just learning, you can take your time as I'm explaining. Okay, now interface, we supply the gigabit Ethernet. Okay, and what is the first one is 0/0, so we type giga. It's not case sensitive, so you can write it in capital letter as it is here, or you write it small letter. So it's not case sensitive. I've confirmed that already. So bit Ethernet, good, then 0/0, press enter. Good. Can you see it now? What can you see here? So we have entered another mode. So this mode is called interface configuration mode. Okay, so this is where we can now assign IP address and turn on the administrative that was shut down, to turn it on. So now let's see. Let's assume we don't know the command that can be used within this mode, this interface mode, config mode. We put the question mark. Let me enlarge. I'm going to be reducing it and enlarging it. So now let's see, we have commands and we have the description like I said earlier on. Now let's see what can we do. We want to assign IP address. Can you see interface internet protocol config command? Can you see it now? So we're going to be using IP as to enable us to do that. IP, then we don't know what to supply as argument after IP. Let's put question mark again. I think we should do that before I reduce it. So can you see we have this argument that can be, as you know, that we can assign at the back of this IP. If you just put IP and you press enter, it's going to say incomplete command. Can you see now? So that's why we're looking at what we can supply immediately after this command. So we want to assign address, IP address. Can you see set the IP address of an interface? Okay, so we write address that as an argument there, address. Okay, so after this address, if I press enter, it will still tell us what incomplete command, meaning we can still, it expects us to add another information behind it. So we don't know it. Let's put question mark shift after IP address shift space, then question shift, press shift and question mark. It's going to tell you what is expected of you. Now it expects us to do what? To write in an IP address of this format. So this is, we are using IPv4. So the position, and IPv4 is a group of 4 segments separated with dots, okay, separated by dots actually. So now this takes value, this is a value or abstract, this abstract value. Now we expect to put value. Now this is what it means. Can you see? This is the value. The A stands for this value. Let me show you. This A now is like this 15 point. This is dot. B there is this, C is this, and the D is this. Can you see it now? So we're going to be entering that. So 15.255.255.254. Okay, so if I press enter now, it's yet to be completed. So we need to add the mask, the subnet mask value as well. And this particular class is what? Class C, as I told you earlier on. Class what? Class A rather, class A. So meaning that the first segment is for the network, while the other point is for what? The host number. You can refer back to this our slide. Okay, now this 15.0.0.0, meaning that the network area, the submax is turned to be 1, is turned on. You know, we are told that. Okay, let me show you. Let me go back and show you. All right, can you see it now? They say in the submax, all network number portion is set to 2555. So can you see whether 15 network number, you turn everything to 2555. Let me show you the table again. Can you see class A has a subnet max of what? 255, then 000. So we are going to be adding this to as parameter, as an argument immediately after the IP address. Can you see this IP address? Immediately after the IP address, that is IP address, the value, then the subnet value of that particular class of IP address. So 255.0.0.0. So can you see it now? So we have IP address in the what? Interface config mode. Okay, we move from user exec mode to the privilege mode, down to the global configuration mode. Then we now enter the interface mode, configuration mode. Okay, so then we want to assign the IP address by using this command. Then the argument IP address then the value of that particular address we are hiding. Can you see my cursor here? This is the first one we want to do, and followed by the subnet mask value of class A, like we have it here, okay, of the class A. So let me scroll down. So now let's click enter, and I cross my hands. Can you see? No error, no error. Okay, so take note of that. Let me expand that. Can you see? Can you see? But however, nothing actually happened yet, okay, because the network is shut down. The network is shut down. Okay, let's go back again and see it. Let's go back. Just put your attention. Can you see? Nothing changed yet. So let's go back and see what happened. Let's go back. Exit. We are in the global configuration mode. Exit again. Now we are in the privilege mode. We can use show command. Show IP interface brief. Let's press enter and see. Can you see? Initially we did not have this, but it shows that we have assigned an IP address to this particular gigabit Ethernet port. Okay, and it's okay, it's normal. Okay, it has turned from onset to what? Normal. Administrative shutdown. So we want to turn it on. This status, we want to turn it on. So that is why it's showing the red you see here. Can you see? So let's turn it on. How do we turn it on? We turn it on in the interface config mode. So let's go back to that config, which is the third form of configure terminal. Okay, configure terminal. So we move to the global config terminal, global config mode. Then we move into the interface we want to turn on. Select. This is to select the interface. We work on gigabit Ethernet 0/0. The first one the first one that we have assigned IP to. So press enter. Good, we are in there now. So what do we do? It's administratively shut down. So we are going to say no shut. Okay, in case you don't know the command to use, just put question mark. It's going to give you everything. I put question mark here to see the available command as we've been doing initially. So by the time we are doing the second one, I might not be showing you all of this one. Okay, I'm assuming that 70% of you guys, you are not familiar with the command. Okay, so let me show you all these commands that are available now. Can you see no? We have a no as a command. If you read all the description, you see the one we want to use. That is navigate a command or set its default. Okay, let's see no and question mark. So no, expect an argument. Expect argument. So what type of argument do we want to use? Now we want to use was shut down, because the administratively is shut down. So can you shut down the selected interface? So meaning you have to select the interface and shut it down. If it is running, you can shut it down. But however, in our stead now, it is shut down already. By default, it is shut down. Can you see? By default, the interface is shut down. So we want to turn it on. What do? We use that shut down. No, we say no shut down. Can you see? Press enter. It will tell you that what do we have here now? Can you see? The interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0 changed state to what? Up. So it's up and running now. LAN protocol on interface is change states to up. So let's look at it. Don't forget our initial state status is what? Down. Now let's look at what we have. Go back to the privilege mode. Go back again to the privilege mode. So from the interface mode, we move to the global config mode. Then now we are in the privilege mode. Let's show the IP address again. IP address interface, IP interface brief. So what can you see here now? You can see that we have what? Yes, menu is what? Up, and protocol is up. So let's look at it on our interface. Can you see it now? So it has turned on the port. So it changed from red to green. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm not going to be showing this command. I'm going to go.
Hi.
So let's assign IP address to this also, so that you can see it at the real time. You see it change from here. So let's go. We all know where to configure the interface now. This one is what gigabit 0. Gigabit 0.1. So we have done 0.0/0 rather. We have 0./1. So let's do that. Let's move to config mode first. Config, which is also known as configure terminal. So if you don't want to use that, you can just say config t. Okay, it show you the same. It takes you to global config mode. Then we need to select the interface by using interface. So which one are we selecting? The second, gigabit Ethernet. So I'm going to do that now. And meanwhile, if I don't want to type all these gigabit Ethernet, let me show you something. Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. I can shorten it to just giga. It's okay. Giga. So giga is mapped to this. Okay, so you can, instead of you typing all of these long words, you can just use giga 0/1. Press enter. Can you see we are in this particular interface now? So let's assign IP address. How did we go about doing that initially? IP address, then supply the value, which is 172.72.0.15. Then this is the class what? Class B. So what is the subnet mask? Subnet mask is what? 255.255. Then the host number is going to turn everything to 00. So let me go. We are going to turn that 00. So 255.255.0.0. Okay, so space, there is space here, there is space here, there is space also between the interface IP address and the subnet mask. Okay, let's press enter. Good. Now pay attention. So it's administratively shut down, right? So let's turn it on. Can you see this is administrative shut down? So let's turn it on by using the command no and pass the argument no shutdown. So press enter. Can you see it has changed it immediately? As we put no shutdown, it turn it on immediately. Okay, so it turn out. So it has already turned it on. So this one will change automatically to green as well. So let's continue. Let's select, for us to configure this one, we have to select this, the third interface also. We have to select that as well. So but however, this where we are now is in this particular interface. So we have to exit from there, and can we see we have exit? So let's go into the interface of giga 0/2, the last interface here. So these are the three interfaces we have connected to. So let's select that also. Let's press enter. Good. Then let's assign IP address. What are we using? 1.19.15. This is class C. We are using class C here. So the class C expects the subnet max value to be 2525 255 255 255 So 255 255 255.0. So let's press enter. Good. Then no shuts down. Can you see? So we have turned on the interfaces. So let's view it again. Let me expand this. Now let's see it again. Let's show it in the privilege mode by showing this. So we are in the interface mode. Now let's exit. Good. Exit this one too. Then we are in the privilege mode. So show IP interface. then brief. Let's brief it so that to show us what we want to see. Can you see now? So the situation of things have, the situation of these interfaces have changed. Okay, so we have this Ethernet, we have assigned the IP address, we have it okay, normal, and up, meaning it's running. So we all have it set now. So the next thing we need to do, we are done with the router configuration, so we can exit. Let's go back to the okay. Let me show you the running configuration, in this this is router, right? Let's show the running config. Show running dash config. So you are asking, how do I know that it's config I need to put? So just put two question marks for you to see all of those. So we can see it here. Let's press enter to see more. So let's see. Can you see? It says current operating configuration. So it shows the current operating configuration. So let's do that. Running config. So show running dash config. The way it is written here. Can you see? Let's see, running config. Can you see? So press enter. So it shows you the information about the current running configuration. So building running configuration, we have the size of this 728 bytes, then the version, it shows us the name of the service and all. So, and of course the name of the device we're using. So let's open more. Let's more and see if we can have any informative. Okay, so you can see the interface now has been assigned the IP address, and of course it's on and it's up and work running. So we have the second one and the third one. So this we are not using that. So we only have 3 interfaces that we have connected to. So now let's exit this mode. So we are done with the router configuration now. So what's next? This does not yet guarantee that packet can be passed from this system to this system, because on this network now being configured, we are yet to assign IP address to this end system. We only put them as label. This is just a label, okay? So now we have to configure them as well. Let's configure it individual of them so that by the time we are pinging our connection to see the connectivity status of this, we'll see it working. So let's start from here, anywhere actually. So let's double click on this PC1. Double click. We have this also. It gives us this option. So let's click on desktop. We have the 5 tab. The physical shows us the physical nature of the device. This is logical, and it's showing us the actual. So what we are doing here is what you do in the physical world to configure your router and the system, so it will work. By the time you do it physically, it will work. Whatsoever you think you do here is what you replicate on the physical state. So we have the Ethernet port, and you can on it, you can turn it off. Can you see when I on it, it shows what? Shuts down, it's showing red. Turn it on. Can you see? On. Now let's go. We have the config, we have this, we have this, we have this, and config what? It shows us the name already. You can change this name if you don't want that. So let's leave it that way. Then let's go to the desktop. Under the desktop we have options. Can you see? Like I said, I'm going to be doing video on the IoT, where you can use your smartphone or system to control your home appliances. Use it to close your door and all. That is Internet of Things. Okay, now but however, let's concentrate on this first. Now we have IP configuration. Double click on that first option, then we can configure it here. So we don't have IP assigned to this yet. Okay, it's like in a class, in a class of students that are yet to be given matric number. If you call the name, let's say you call somebody's name, let's say Sunday Afolabi, it will surprise you that we might have more than 1 Sundays in that class. So 2 of them will answer to the call. Okay, so we need a particular number that when I come to your class, I can say 211. Two person cannot be bearing 211 in the class. That's matric number. So it uniquely identify an individual. Okay, so let's look at that. And of course, in a class, if you come to a class that you have not assigned matric number to them and you say 211, nobody will answer you. They will just be looking at you. Maybe you have a special presentation. Okay, so now the same thing applicable to this network. Having configured our router, these are still what? They are still, they still don't, I mean, they have no IP address, though they have name PC1, PC2, but PC is not recognized on this network. Okay, so we have to assign IP address to each of them. So the first IP address, we're going to assign PC1 IP address 15.2.1. So, and I told you, so 15.0.0.2. okay, so now that you have entered this, automatically this subnet mask will populate this. Just click inside this box. Can you see? Automatically, I'm not the one that typed it. Automatically, once you have assigned an IP address, you click inside this box, it will populate it. It will populate it. Then this one asks for this is default gate, so we have to change this gateway. And you see, this is the gateway now, the gateway to this building, to this network here, to this particular network here. So let's enter that one by ourselves. So that's 15.255.255.254. so that's it. That's all you need to do here. We set the IP address of the device PC1, and by automatically populate the subnet mask for us, then we enter the gateway, which is what we have here. Okay, so we are done with this. Close it. So we are done with that. If you double click on it, you see it is persist. Can you see? So it's there. So let's move to this PC, the laptop. The laptop also have the 5 options. Click on the desktop, the IP configuration, then enter the IP configuration value, the IP address value 0.3. Then automatically gives us that the gateway also 15.255.255.2.254. So that's that. Let's close that. We are done with this side. Let's move to this one. Double click on, okay, this is covering it. Double click, let me put it down or up. So double click on this one, desktop, go to desktop, IP address, enter the value. Let's put it this side so as to see what we need to put. So we click on this, so we have to assign this address, the IP address, to it. Automatically, so it shows us this is class C. Automatically provides us with that. So the gateway value, let me put it this way so as to see it. The gateway value is 192.151.45.254. Okay, good. That's the gateway. Then let's close it. We are done. Double click on the second one also. Let me shift it to this side. Excuse me. Desktop, click on desktop, click on IP configuration, enter the value 159. So this indicates that they are both in the same network environment. Can you see? They have the same network number. Okay. Two. All right. Automatically populate that. Then gateway. So the router uses this to route the packets to all of this. So packet is a chunk of data. Okay, when a host or a sender is sending a file, which is data, the data is broken into packets. Okay, so of equal sizes. Okay, so it moves it. So the router uses the gateway to route the packets to a specific PC on the network. So let's close it. We are done with that. Let's call it dot for this. So let me put it this side. Good. So we move to desktop, IP configuration. Let's enter the value 192.151.5 152.45.12. 152, remove that default value in the gateway to 192.151.45.254. Close it. Let's move to the next one.
Desktop IP configuration. Enter the values 172.72.255. Oh, sorry, this is the gateway. Okay, I'm actually enter 172.72. This is what I'm entering, the IP address of this device. That's what we're setting up. 0.15. Then this address is already used in the network.
This address is already used in the network. Okay, let's increase this. Let's just say 25. In the network, this same network, not other network. Okay, let's enter that. Let's see, 172.72.0.25. Good. This is not used. Okay, then we move to the gateway value 172.72.255.254. Good, we are done with that. We have configured that. Let's configure this also. Double click on it, click on desktop,
click on IP configuration 172.72.0.9, and the max generate that for us. Then change the default gateway values to what we have here is the gateway value now. That's 172.72.255.254. So let's close it. The last one is the system here. So let's desktop IP configuration, then enter the value. IP address value 172.72.0.13. Good. So let's remove this. So we have the gateway value 172.72.255.254.
So we are done with that. Good. So how do we test our network? How do we see if packet can be passed from years to this from year to this? So let's check. Let's ping this network from here. Ping is a command used to check the connectivity of the network. Okay, so let's command. I want to ping from here. I want to send the packet from here to this device here. Okay, I will still send from here to this device here, either of this device too. You will see it as it moves the packet. So on the console, so double click on the PC one, either PC you want to use. Then you can say command prompt. So yeah, can you see the command prompt now? So I want to ping from PC1 that has this address to this PC here, this laptop that have this address. So I'm going to be using this address now. Ping address 172.72.0.13. Once the router sees this first value, is going to confirm from the gateway which port has this network number. So it sees it that this is the network that has this number, this particular one. Then after that, it will now look at the number of the host. Which of these hosts in this network has 13 as its number? So which is this? Okay, so that's how it goes. Let's see it now. Let's run it. Let's click on that, enter. So can you see pinging this network with 32 bits of data? Let's see. Request timed out. Okay, let's see the result. So time out. Good. Now if you look at it, e say sent 4 and lost and received 0, lost 14. So it shows that the connection is not established within these two device. So let's check other device. This 172.7.2. okay, let's see. Okay, let me see. Let's ping the other network on the same network, the same um device on the same network. Let's do this. Let's see this. So can you see? This one shows that we sent four packets sent, then receive all the four, and we lose 0%. Okay, good. So let's check from here to this place and confirm what is going on here. So let's pin from here, from this same device we have clicked on, PC1, to this PC here. Let's see, ping 192.151.45.2. Let's press enter and see. Timeout also. Good. Can you see? So there is a connectivity between this and this. It's established. Let's try this system here, the number 12. You know, we've tried number 2, right, which is this one. So let's try 12 as well. So 12, press enter. Let's see, we are sending package from this PC to this. Let's see. Good. Can you see it's going? Good. We sent 4 packets, 3 received, 1 is lost. So meaning we have 25% of loss here. So good. Okay, now why is it that this one is not working? Let's try the other one and see what went wrong. So let's enter the address 1.4. Let's try this, the first laptop here, 0.72.0.25. Let's press enter and see. So it shows that this network is not well configured. I mean, this particular one, this one here is yet to. Let's check the configuration value. Can you see it's off? So let's check the configuration value of each device here. Let's go to IP address. (25) 172.72 points. This the gateway. Okay, the gateway is correct. Okay, let me close this and see this other one. Let's see this. Okay, now let's ping this. Let's ping is 9. Good. Okay, 254. Check the number very well. Okay, let's ping from here to this middle device, and so let's see what is going on there to confirm what we need to do. So we have the network number 172.72.0.9. So the same thing applicable to that. So something. Okay, let's try from here too. Let's ping from here as well. Let's ping. Let's see. I'm going to send packet from this system, from this network, from this system on this network to this. Okay, ping 15.0.0.2. Let's see. So this one is an established connection between them. Okay, yeah, this one sent 4 packets, received 4 packets, 0 loss. So let's see what is going on here. let's send to this also 172.72.0.25. Let's press enter. Oh, the same thing applicable here also. It shows that the IP we assign here, let's change it. So let's go back to the router and change the IP address. Let's change. Well, I double click on the router. I want to change the IP address for this interface here. That's G1.0. Let's see it. Show IP, show interface, IP interface brief. So we want to change this. That's giga 0/0. Well, let's change it. Let me see the value to make things easy. Let's use this value 18 18. Okay, we're going to be looking at it. Let's say let's select the router again, go to config mode. That's config T terminal interface giga 0/1. So let's see if we can write that. Then IP address, we want to assign another one. IP address 182.98.255.254. Good. Then the submax is 25 because it's in class B. So enter. So no shutdown already. It's no shutdown already. So let's check. Exit. So show IP brief. So we have changed it successfully and it's up and running as well. So let's close it. So we have changed it. Let's update it. 182.82.8.98 rather 98.255.254. So the same thing is going to be for this. Let me copy it, paste 0.0. Then the same thing applicable to this as well. Let's paste it. So let's change the network number, the host number. Let me give this one, let's say, you can just give it within the number. Let me say 3, and this one I'm going to be calling this one 2. 0.0, 0.2. So 0.1. Good. Now let's configure it again. Let's go to the configuration. Let's change the value. So now the value now has changed from the gates way 192.98.255.254. So let me just copy this now. Okay, and also we need to change this from this to this. It's 2.98.0.1. Good, we have done that. So let's do for this as well. So let me change this. Then this, we have 0.2. Now this, we have this. Let's change this to 3. 0.3. Good. So let's check it again. Is it persist? Good. All right, so good. Now let's try it again. Let's try and send packets from here to this place and see command. So we are moving from this, we want to send this to this packet here. Good, let's see. Let's enter the value. 182.92.0.1. Let's send to this laptop here. Enter. Good. Good. So the problem is from the IP address, the gateway address we use. Probably that's in the reserved IP. You can read about the IP addressing. So let's equally send from here. Let's close. Let's send to the third one too. Let's send to the third one. Number 3. Is number 3. That's the IP address is 890. Yeah, correct. Let's see. Good. So this is the proof of connectivity. So let's equally send from here to the other. So we click on the laptop here. Then let's click on the command prompt. Ping. We want to ping the two network, but let's send the packets to this first, or either one. It work. 0.0.0.1. Press enter. Oh, actually, we don't have one, okay? We have two, we have three. That is what I was saying initially, that when you go to a class that you have yet to assign number to the student, when you say one, they will just be looking at you. What do you mean by one? Are you presenting any special number? So now you can see I supply one, the host number that it does not exist there. So it was trying to navigate its way, but it could not find any. So let's see. So can you see this one now? 2 is here. That's 15.0.0.2. So it sent 4, it received 4. So nothing lost. So let's equally ping this from this same device we have selected to this device here, either of the device. Let's see. Ping the IP address of the device. So let's try this one. 15.45.12. Let's see. Good. It sent 4 packets and received 4 packets, nothing lost. Good, very well. Now let's look at it. This is across the network. This is na. We connected them together. Now within this network, within this particular network here, we can still pass data. We can share the resources among these systems. Okay, so let's ping this and this other system that, as in say, in the same network. We want to send the packet from here to this this device. So let's see. Ping 182.93.1. So only 0.2 rather, because we are pinging from here 0.0.3. So we want to send data from here to this guy. So let's press enter and see if connection is established within them as well. Good. Can you see? So that is all about the tutorial. I'm going to be making the slide available for you. Read more about the IP address, and as time goes on, we're going to be working on let me save and show you what we're going to be working on. Let me show you something.